This is the solution video for section 4.3, problem number 12. So the directions for 12 and 13 say find the local extreme values. So remember, when we say find the local extreme values, it is asking us to find the y values. So in order to do that, we first of all need to figure out the x values where the local extreme values occur. And so to do that, we need to do our sign analysis like we've been doing in all of the other problems in section 4.3. So first step then is to find f prime. So f prime of x. All right, so now I have x minus 2 cubed times x plus 1 to the fourth. So we have a product. So we're going to use the product rule. X minus 2 cubed times the derivative of x plus 1 to the fourth, which would be 4, times x plus 1 to the third, times the derivative of x plus 1, which is 1, plus, now we have x plus 1 to the fourth times the derivative of x minus 2 cubed, which would be 3 times x minus 2 quantity squared times the derivative of x minus 2, which is 1. All right, so now we're going to set this thing equal to 0. All right, and in order to solve this, we're going to factor. So I notice I have two terms, right? Two sets of things added together. So I'm going to look, and I have an x minus 2 cubed and an x minus 2 squared. So I'm going to factor out the lower power, so x minus 2 squared. Then I have an x plus 1 cubed and an x plus 1 to the fourth. So I'm going to factor out an x plus 1 cubed because that's the lower power. So now, remaining, I have a 4 that I could not factor out, and I have an x minus 2 to the first. Plus, in the second term, I have a 3 remaining, and I have an x plus 1 to the first. All right, so now I have three factors. I have x minus 2 squared, I have x plus 1 cubed, and I have this thing, right, which we're going to each individually set equal to 0. So x minus 2 squared equals 0, x plus 1 cubed equals 0, or this thing, which I'm going to rewrite as 8, 4x minus 8 plus 3x plus 3, and I'm going to set that equal to 0. All right, x minus 2 squared equals 0. I'm going to square root and add 2, so x equals 2. X plus 1 cubed equals 0, so I'm going to cube root and subtract 1, so x equals negative 1. Here, 4x plus 3x is 7x. Negative 8 plus 3 is negative 5 equals 0, so I'm going to add 5 divided by 7, so x equals 5/7. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to do my sign analysis. All right, so I'm going to put my three numbers in the correct order on my number line. All right, so negative 1, of course, 5/7, and then 2. All right, so now on the side, I'm going to put x minus 2 squared. Don't forget about the square. X plus 1 cubed. Don't forget about the cube. And then I'm going to write this one as 7x minus 5. All right, so now I have 3 rows. All right, so top row, I'm going to put a 0 above 2. Middle row, I'm going to put a 0 above negative 1. And bottom row, I'm going to put a 0 above 5/7. All right, so now to the left of 2, how about 0? 0 minus 2 is negative 2, but I square it, so that means it's always going to be positive. And then obviously on the right side, I'm squaring it again, so that's going to be positive. All right, to the left of negative 1, how about negative 2? Negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1 cubed. That is a negative, right? Number to the right, how about 0? 0 plus 1 is 1 cubed. That is positive. All right, a number to the left of 5/7. How about 0? 7 times 0 minus 5, that is negative. How about to the right, like 1? 7 times 1 is 7 minus 5 is positive. All right, so now we want to interpret our sign chart. So we have positive times negative is a positive. Positive times positive times negative is negative. Positive times positive times positive is positive. Positive times positive times positive is positive. So at negative 1, the derivative changes from positive to negative, which would be a local max. At 5/7, the derivative changes from negative to positive, so it'd be a local minimum. All right, so now remember, we know there's a local minimum at x equals 5/7, but that doesn't answer the question yet, okay? So we know there's a local max at x equals negative 1, but that doesn't answer the question yet either. We want to find what that local minimum is. All right, so we want to evaluate f of 5/7 and f of negative 1. All right, so that means I need to look at what my function is. All right, so my function, let me move that out of the way. All right, my function is x minus 2 cubed times x plus 1 to the fourth. All right, so 5/7, okay, so 5 sevenths minus 2 cubed times 5 sevenths plus 1 to the fourth. Now, I understand that this is annoying, okay? But the fact is that you would be able to say, well, this is my value. Now, I think on the answer sheet I have some sort of a calculated value, so that would be what the answer is there. All right, and then f of -1, same idea, -1 minus 2 cubed, and then -1 plus 1 to the fourth. This one's easy, that's just 0. So the local minimum is f of 5 sevenths, and the local max is f of -1, which is 0.